Hi everyone, so we are going to continue our reading from where we left off. We're proceeding into the book of Matthew in chapter 6. But before we proceed with that, let's recall what we have read so far. In the book of Matthew in chapter 1, it details Jesus' genealogy, and then we proceeded to learn about Jesus' birth. Chapter 3 introduces John the Baptist, who was to prepare the way for the Lord. Now, John the Baptist was also the one that baptized Jesus. Now, right after that baptism, the Spirit led Jesus into the wilderness where he was being tempted by the devil. Now, after that encounter, Jesus ushered in his ministry, and chapter 5 details all of his teachings from the Beatitudes all the way to addressing every aspect of the law. Now, his teachings continues here in chapter 6, and in this section that we're going to be reading today, it's only 4 verses. It's the beginning verses of chapter 6, and it's about Jesus' teaching about giving to the needy. And it begins with, watch out, don't do your good deeds publicly to be admired by others, for you will lose the reward from your Father in heaven. When you give to someone in need, don't do as the hypocrites do, blowing trumpets in the synagogues and streets to call attention to their acts of charity. I tell you the truth, they have received all the rewards they will ever get. But when you give to someone in need, don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. Give your gifts in private, and your Father who sees everything will reward you. Okay, I'm going to break it down a little bit more so we can kind of get to absorb what Jesus is speaking here. He is addressing the fact that practicing our good deeds for others to see is basically something that's hypocritical. Specifically addressing his disciples that don't do your good deeds publicly to be admired by others, for you lose the reward from your Father in heaven, meaning that your reward is only physical, that which you have desired to actually receive, meaning that people's accolade is all you will ever get, nothing external. Your Father in heaven doesn't reward that which is of the desire of others to give you kudos. So he proceeded to say that when you give to someone in need, don't do as the hypocrites. A hypocrite is somebody who is a pretender, somebody who does not practice what they preach, somebody who lectures one thing and does a total opposite of what they just lectured about. And then he proceeded to say that those people blow trumpets in the synagogues and streets to call attention to their acts of charity. And he proceeded to say, I tell you the truth, they have received all the reward that they will ever get. Their reward is physical, nothing eternal. None of their reward is going to be eternal. And then he said and gave us a charge as citizens and members of the kingdom of heaven. When you give to someone in need, don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. Meaning that give secretly, give privately. Do not allow your left hand to know what your right hand is doing. Meaning that even when you're giving, do not allow your mind to kind of sway you in a direction wherein you have to actually kind of put something out there just so people can see it. No. Do it in a way that is pure. Do it in a way that is centered in just giving and not to be seen. So he proceeded to say that give your gifts in private, and your Father who sees in heaven will also reward you secretly and will reward you greatly in that aspect. These words were very touching because you get to see that more often even in this generation, wherein social media has become a place wherein everybody tends to showcase what they're doing and what they're not doing. But to see somebody that's actually giving, an act of giving, and then we have to put that on camera for people to see, what's the purpose in that? So he's saying that you have already received your reward by the number of likes you received, by the number of people that gave you a shout out. That's your reward. So I leave you with that today, and I will talk to you later, and I cannot wait to actually read the next section with you, which is about teaching about prayer and fasting. All right, have a good night. Bye.